Hello and welcome back to my channel. So we are heading to Italy. So basically this Italian man walks over to this young man eating pasta with his chopsticks, and this Italian man forces pasta in this young man's mouth in the name of how pasta should be eaten in Italy. Let's get into the video and then we're gonna talk.
I was just eating pasta with my chopsticks in Italy and this happened.
No, you just no. You are in Italy, you are not in China.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
In Italy, you eat like that. Okay.
I was so confused.
Provoking. You know, I do understand that people want their culture respected, and there is no harm in that. I have my own culture as well. What people need to understand is that there is also what we call respecting other people's culture differences. This young man might have grown up using chopsticks as utensils, and you know, it's so kind. I mean, look at him. It might not have ended well with other people, just like it didn't end well with most of the people that staged this video. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below, guys. Let's get into the stitches.
You are not in China.
This should come as a surprise to nobody. Italians are racist as shit, and they're incredibly proud of it. Literally, we've seen multiple videos from this year alone showing how incredibly racist Italians are towards Asian people especially. Remember those girls on the train? The most egregious example from this year alone was the black man who was murdered in broad daylight in front of a crowd simply because he was black and nobody did anything. They left his body on the ground. Italians find it very disrespectful when you break your pasta noodles in half, so I make it my mission to do it every single time I make spaghetti.
Not in China.
This should come as a surprise to nobody.
Definitely go watch that video. Love their content always. And I don't understand what the point is of being in people's business. Like, if somebody wants to eat chopsticks, their pasta with their chopsticks, like, why do you care? But it's really sad, and honestly it's not really a surprise because they're obviously like the OG colonizers and continue to be racist. I mean, I'm not excusing it, but I'm saying like it shouldn't surprise anybody. However, we should call it out. I used to study abroad in Spain my last semester of college, and it was so disgusting. There were a lot of Chinese immigrants that were in Spain, and so they would operate a lot of the convenience stores, and so the names of the convenience stores were chinos, and this was just like normal. Like, this was just, it was what they were called. So never be surprised about how racist like Italians, French, and Spaniards are.
This happened.
No.
That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Like, and the amount of people in the comments that are laughing and defending the guy, no. And the fact that that fork was dirty, I don't even know whose fork that was, whether that was that man's fork. And then he talks to him like a child. Not in China. Oh my God. No. Everyone that defends that guy's behavior and goes, well, he's in Italy, bruh. Food is going into that man's mouth that man paid for. Like, it's none of your business what happens to the food that goes into someone else's mouth. What the hell? Oh my freaking God, no.
No, you just...
Did that motherfucker just put a dirty ass fork in that man's food? Now, I know when you visit another country, you're supposed to be respectful of their customs and their laws. But the way that I would have snatched my plate away from that motherfucker, sir, if you're gonna fucking impose, at least bring a clean fucking fork. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell you about to put your dirty ass fucking fork in my damn food. See, this is why when traveling internationally, there's only a few countries that I'm going to go to. Because I'm not trying to end up in no Italian prison.
Italy and this happened.
No.
I'm gonna book a trip to Italy, go to the nicest restaurant I can find, order a lasagna, pick up that piece of lasagna with my bare hands and eat it like a fucking moon pie.
No, you just.
Not so casual reminder that Italy is the birthplace of fascism. Don't forget that. I believe the term fascist originated from the term fasciste, which is like an Italian word for like a hammer or something like that. It is an incredibly conservative culture, and they will not accept any deviation from their established cultural norms. Don't get me wrong, they have phenomenal PR, but Mussolini was right there with Hitler in World War II. Like, he didn't have the Holocaust, so we kind of give him a break, but he was a fucking fascist. They have like hundreds of different forms of pasta based on millimeter differences, all right? If you have a pasta that is slightly too thick and you call it spaghetti, they'll essentially spit in your mouth. Like, yeah. Let them use a chopstick. It doesn't fucking matter.
You are in Italy. You are not in China.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This does not surprise me not one bit. I've seen worse than this. Not so long ago, they had killed a black man in broad daylight and left him in the streets. Nobody, where was that? Nobody did anything to help him. And you think Italy is a country I want to visit? When I was younger, it was in my bucket list of countries I want to visit, and it was like in the top 5. Now it has been completely crossed out. I will never step foot in that country. Never. Like, not even as a joke would I go over there. It's literally on hundreds of people's list of countries not to visit while black or while just being a foreigner. Whether you're Asian, black, and so many others. Even some white people over there get treated as less than. It's dehumanizing and it's ridiculous. Like, and for the people that be like, oh, but not all of Italy, there are certain places. You think I give a fuck? You think I care? Please, stop doing that shit. And let me put it into perspective, right? Japan was number 1 in my bucket list of countries I wanted to visit, right? Ask me where it's at now. It has also been crossed out. It didn't drop to the bottom. It has literally been crossed out. Japan is another country that I will never step foot in. I love anime. I love manga. Never going to Japan. Not doing it. I also like Japanese food. I like certain aspects of their culture. But overall, I'm not rocking with them. Neither Japanese people nor the Japan as a country. For similar reasons as to why I don't want to go to Italy. But Japan is more because I'm disappointed at, who they actually turned out to be. Like, I'm gonna let you know this. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Especially when it comes to like how they show a country to be. Definitely don't believe what you see on the internet. Because remember, they're always gonna try to show you the best parts, the best side of the country, when the reality is it's complete and utter trash. I'm sorry if you feel offended, but I'm really not sorry though. So
Okay.
I've seen a number of stitches with this clip, and I can generally tell that the stitches are made by Americans because, well, it's a very American perspective. But I have said many times on this app, like, why you cannot apply an American lens to things that happen outside of America, but I guess I'll explain myself again using this situation. First, a lot of people are making this equivalence that if you go to any Asian restaurant here and you don't know how to use chopsticks, they will always give you a fork. And that's only true for Asian restaurants in America. And so the correct equivalence is actually to talk about Asian restaurants in Asia. And if you go to a lot of parts in China, particularly in non-touristy areas, they actually will not have a fork. Another assumption a lot of people are making is that forks are universal, that everyone in the world knows how to use a fork. And obviously this Asian guy in the clip knows how to use a fork because he speaks English, but that's also an incorrect assumption. Most of my relatives in rural China have no idea how to use a fork. And I know there's a strong ick here against people touching your food, but it's actually a fairly common practice when you're a tourist in other countries. A lot of the times locals locals will touch your food to show you how to eat their food. They're not trying to be rude. They're just trying to show you how the food is meant to be eaten. It's a teaching moment. In Vietnam, I didn't know how to eat a certain dish, and a local came over and wrapped it for me with their bare hands. And another time, someone cracked open a fruit and put it in my face and was like, suck on the juice, suck on the juice. And, if you really don't like it, you could say, no, but it does happen. It is not that uncommon. Now, if this happened in the United States, then I would 100% agree that there are strong racial undertones. But this happened in Italy. And so you cannot apply an American lens to what happens in Italy. You have to apply an Italian lens, which most of us don't have. So do I think the guy is being racist or not? I don't know. Like, how can you tell from such a short clip without understanding what the benchmark is for Italian behavior? The original person who posted this clarified that the server said that they're not in China because he knew that his girlfriend was Chinese, which means that before this incident, they must have shared some sort of positive exchange in order for the server to know that his girlfriend is Chinese. And generally speaking, if you're racist, like if you don't like a certain group of people, you probably wouldn't start any sort of small talk with them. What I meant originally when I said that we have a tendency to apply an American lens here in North America to how we view situations is that we always have this need to clarify who is the hero and who is the villain in every situation. But the real world does not work like that. Sometimes you're the hero, sometimes you're the villain, sometimes you're both, sometimes you're neither. When you're walking down the street and a pigeon flies past you, is that pigeon a hero or a villain? No, it's just neither. It just flew past you. There are a lot of people commenting on this video like, oh, I don't really know how I feel about this. But like, you don't actually have to feel anything about anything. You could just be neutral. When two cultures come together, there is always going to be something that clashes, that creates some sort of awkwardness or maybe even discomfort. And that's going to be inevitable. That's just a byproduct of differences. It doesn't mean that either party is in the wrong. Here in Toronto, we generally leave people alone. But I just came back from a cruise down in Florida, and people really love to make small talk in the United States, particularly in the South. And I don't really enjoy it, to be honest with you. It makes me uncomfortable sometimes. But like, I don't think I'm in the wrong for wanting to be left alone, and I don't think these Americans are in the wrong for wanting to exchange some friendly banter. And I'm not saying that you have to tolerate every single cultural difference out there that makes you uncomfortable. You can say no. You're allowed to say no. I say no all the time when people do and say things that I don't like. Most of the time, all you really need to do is just say no, wave, and smile, and they'll get the point. You don't need to create a scene. You don't need to stab the man with a fork or flip the table. You don't need to create conflict where conflict doesn't exist. A difference is not a conflict.
This should not have happened. I mean, like, this should not have happened. And I've read surprisingly, I've read some comments on this video, like, bro, that was just him teaching him how to eat. That, I'm guessing that must have been an Italian man. I was like, what? The only thing I can say on this is that we are different. Like, we come from different places. We have different time zones, different understanding of how time works, how things works. My point is that he shouldn't have gone over to instruct this young man how to eat his pasta. My other issue with this man is that, he told this guy that this was not China, that this is in China. I mean, this is the part everyone is missing. Like, how the heck did this man think or know that this guy was from China? The guy doesn't even look Chinese. My guess is that he's from Korea. That's just my guess anyway. Has some kind of ara to the cyst BS. I mean, the audacity. And there was another comment, and it said something like, Italian people take their food issues seriously. Like, are you for real? Let that apply to Italians only. I mean, happens people like me who don't know how to use forks. Well, that was just a joke. I'm African. We prefer fingers. Whatever happened to boundaries and customer service? Maybe it's just us in this video. Maybe you guys are not having issues with this video. So you guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already, and let's be peaceful in the comments. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Peace.